today I've got an extremely unique couple who has done over 8 figures in the short-term rental space without using Airbnb by creating their own experiences with tree houses and wellness centers and all these awesome things that have been rated by TripAdvisor as like the best spots to go in the country. On top of that, Seth has been a part of a Christian band, a really big one called Needtobreathe, which many of you may have heard of. And today we're going to talk about their story. What's up, guys?
What's up,
Hey.
man? So good to be here on
Yeah,
our anniversary. Today's our
it is your
anniversary.
anniversary. Happy anniversary. 9 years, you said?
Yep, glad to be celebrating with you.
There we go. I feel honored. I feel honored. But yeah, I mean, you guys have a crazy story. I mean, you spent a long time in ministry doing, the Christian music thing, and then you've got the Bolt Farm Treehouse that you guys manage that has been highly successful, and you guys are expanding. You got, I think you said 24 units right now on
That's
it,
right, and 11 on the way, under
11 on the
construction.
way.
Mhm.
And I watched the just Instagram. You guys have like over 600,000 followers. They'll B-roll some of it right now, but like, dude, these tree houses are insane. I mean, there's waterfalls. There's like, it's super luxurious. Tell me a little bit about like just what it is for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Seth is the visionary, and his vision is so big. Like, we're dream it, do it. And so he dreams these things up, and I'm like, how in the world are we going to pull this off? But really, it's all about creating an unforgettable experience that just helps you detach from the busyness of life and reality and focus on what matters most. And so the tree houses, the domes, everything that we create is centered around reconnection, helping you reconnect with nature, with the person that you're with, and your purpose. And so, like, I mean, you're the one who dreamed it up, but I love what you talk about how with the treehouse, it all started from when the view from when you're sitting in bed, looking out at nature, having everything just grow. The roof is growing, the walls expanding. You just feel larger than life. And so you're in this like mini palace up on a mountain and you just feel on top of the world.
Yeah. We're big believers in environments and like how environments, shape people and shape moments. And so we've been very intentional with designing inspiring environments. And I think there's a lot of crossover there, even with the music that I've made over the last 23 years with Need to Breathe, is that like, when you're having a day or when like how much music can affect your mood, how you feel, and actually help you, like, if you're going through something tough, like sometimes music provides the language for your emotions, like because you're trying to articulate how you feel, what you're going through, that kind of thing. And so for Need to Breathe, it was just always like anthems of hope and how can we inspire people and just be real and very authentic about what we're going through. And also, with the touring component, you're always creating a stage and like this world and people come into that world. And so um with Bolt Farm, we got to do that in a way, that could break all the laws of what you can't do when you have to like be able to pack up that world and move it from city to city. Like the one thing that I liked about entertainment in Vegas is that, you can build sets that you could just never travel with. Like it's so elaborate, it's so fancy what you can do with like the show and the experience. And I always wanted to do some of the things that Vegas did on tour, but some of them were just too expensive, too
Yeah.
cost prohibitive. So I was like, well, let's put that into a place where literally we can create this like Disneyland for adults and have experience be um, just like nothing else. So we found a property like nowhere else that's on top of a mountain and it's on a cliff, and you've got a view of 3 states, and we have like a mile of this bluff frontage. And so the place itself is interesting, and then from a design perspective, we design in everything. Like we're not like one of the outdoor hospitality companies that's just like buying prefabricated domes
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like literally every bit of it, the shape of it, the feel of it, everything's really designed for connection. And so by taking that purpose built approach, I think the outcomes that people are having are in some cases like transformational. Like people are saying this trip probably added 25 years to our marriage, or like I rediscovered my best friend. So
Yeah.
for us, like I guess we see business as a vehicle for meaning and purpose. So like it could, you can have uh a business that's both high margin and high meaning.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me excited to wake up in the morning, is like having the human impact component.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. One, I can totally tell that you're an artist. It would just, like I'm a real estate investor and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, this is a great piece of property. I think it could make good money. Like it's got a lot of potential. You're like talking about every detail of like very much like an artist and a creative person would think. So I can tell 23 years, you know, in a top band, it makes sense why this is so successful and so creative
It's a
and everything
blessing and a
else.
curse because, like, I mean, the thing is, like in this case, we actually, put my last name on the business. So,
Yeah.
like, I want everyone to have a 10-star experience.
Yeah.
And, but it also means like every little detail can drive you
Every
crazy.
little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the
Because,
way from the linens to
yeah,
just
like
every piece
for
of it.
us, it's like best is the standard. You know what I mean? So I want everything to just be as good as it possibly can be. But uh,
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this because right now Airbnb is in a weird situation. So a lot of people who watch this show have thought about doing Airbnb. Maybe they used to. You know, for context for everyone listening, even for you guys, I got started in Airbnb in 2017. And so I bought vacation rentals in Big Bear, California, which, it's a vacation town, mountainous, beautiful nature, all that. And I looked at it like a real estate investor. I'm just like, this Airbnb thing seems pretty smart. Like nobody's doing it. There's not any properties up here other than like weird little motels. Like, I think this thing might crush. And I remember buying my first one for 200 grand and a little 900 square foot log cabin, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. And the first month it made $4,000. I was like, whoa, my mortgage is like $1,300 and that just made 4 grand. And by the way, I did not pay attention to every little detail. I'm just like, put some stuff in it and like, let's go. And sure enough, it did really good. And then I kept buying more and more and more. And then I had like 10 up there. And then what I saw was as time went on, those details did start to matter. A lot of things happened, like regulation started to happen. COVID happened. The city started not wanting Airbnbs. And then the landscape started to get more competitive. It's like, dude, your house better be legit if you want to book it. And then you see Airbnb taking more fees and like there's all this stuff. And to see you guys go into it and just buy a piece of land, build out this completely unique experience where it's not this thing like I would say like a normal Airbnb where someone comes to like Las Vegas and like, oh, I just need a place to stay. Like, what's available? Like, I feel like they're going specifically they're like, I'm going to Tennessee to go to the Bolt Farm Treehouse. I'm not going to Tennessee just because I'm I'm going for this. Talk about how different it is what you're doing versus the normal Airbnb investor.
Yeah. So I think, like you said, Bolt Farm is a destination. And the difference is people are coming for a transformative experience. They're not just looking for a place to stay. They know, like, hey, I'm a high output person, been running 100 miles an hour, and I need to refill my cup. How am I going to do that? Because we've all been on vacations that leave you more tired than when you arrived.
Yeah, they're not a vacation.
No, not at all.
Usually it's my kids.
Yeah,
That's
right? Like, I'm working this whole time.
Yeah.
But this is where you really come to find your peace and fill your cup.
that's why we're adults only.
That's right. We are
Oh, you are?
adults
Okay.
only.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And the way that we are able to do that, booking 100% direct to our guests without Airbnb, was a decade of brand building. We did start on Airbnb.
Yep.
So you'll get a kick out of this. The very first treehouse that Seth built for our wedding day was listed on Airbnb for $111 a night.
That's great.
Flash
So hold
forward-
on. You built the first one.
Yeah.
So this is you guys are on your 9-year anniversary. So this was 9 years ago. You built the first one and you put it on Airbnb for $100 basically.
$111 a
Yeah.
night. Flash
Yeah.
forward to today, our treehouses are about 10x that. So over $1,000 a night.
That's crazy.
But we've over time just continued to add more value, more amenities, more luxury into the experience and building a brand where people that people trust. And so what that looked like for us, we didn't just go cold turkey off Airbnb. That would be really dangerous for the business. But as you're building trust, you're starting to build up reviews on these other platforms like Google, like TripAdvisor, where people are looking to see if you're legit, and establishing a presence on social media. Not only looking at what you're creating, but what are your guests posting? What are influencers and other people saying about you? And then that crossfade happens, and now they know that they're going to have a world-class experience. They don't need the security of Airbnb. And then we were able to completely abandon it when we opened our third development in Tennessee. We started direct bookings and haven't looked back.
What year was that?
2021.
Wow. Okay, so you've been on your own for about 4 years now without these other platforms and everything.
Yeah.
It started probably back in like 2018 at our second development. Once we had multiple properties, there just was not a good way to like cross promote them on Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like if you remember, they had like the profile page, and it's like about Seth and Tori and what
no one
languages
cares.
you speak, and I'm like, this is dumb the way this is set up. So I knew what I wanted to build, and just decided to build a website that would show the world that we had created. Since
Yeah.
I couldn't really do that with Airbnb.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, you guys have over 600,000 followers on Instagram too, so it's like it's getting shared. You know, you guys are making good content, and so it's just bringing in people from just the virality of what social media is.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, though, like even though we've been featured on like Netflix, like the show The World's Most Amazing Vacation Rentals, and like won all these awards and stuff, because it's tree houses and people just don't know what they don't know, they still want to know, like, do you have indoor plumbing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we've got heated toilet seats and like marble floors that are heated and stuff. So like, yeah.
Yeah, you're not roughing it.
Yeah.
No
Not at
one's
all.
roughing it out there.
And that was my philosophy from the beginning was, you know, I basically took a few early bets. Like one was on Airbnb being a thing, and this was back in like 2013. Another was that Instagram would be a thing, and that would be how I could market it. And then also that it would become more and more competitive over time. And so I just wanted to go ahead and like establish Bolt Farm as like the penthouse suite of glamping at first. And now I think it's she's like, we're way beyond that category. It's more like luxury outdoor hospitality. So just how do you position yourself as the penthouse suite of what you do, like the category king, if you will, so that then you can just build in that world and be untouchable.
So you start out as, would you say that niche is glamping for kind of what people would be searching for?
Yeah, that's how we started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think when I think of glamping, most people are talking about like building these tents and these, I mean, they're kind of permanent, but not really. But you're over here building these luxury tree houses. And then, I'm looking at them now and it's like, I don't even know that they're tree houses. It's like, they're just houses that are built into the nature.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Almost like a landscape resort.
Yeah. It's like, you see these random things on like Instagram and stuff of like these houses that look like they're built into the ground.
Yeah.
So
we're blessed with like 55 acres and just multi-million-dollar views. And so like we've just begun adding all kinds of different things. So like we just added a spa and wellness haven. We added the spa a year ago, the wellness haven the beginning of this year, but it's everything you could possibly imagine. Like it's a multi-acre spa concept, because like we enjoy spa and stuff, but like there's so many like spa in the bar concepts, and like you've seen them one, you've seen them all, and I wanted to do something completely original, play by our own rules. And so there's this huge like rock outcropping, and we just built the whole thing around it. So it's like hot springs, pools, and saunas and steam rooms and everything like built into the rock with a view of 3 states.
So walk me through, because you guys mentioned you have 3 developments. So the first development was what?
The first development was a treehouse that Seth built with his dad by hand for our wedding day. It was on the family farm where he grew up in South Carolina. It couldn't have gone better. It was like literally kind of an overnight success. 6-month waiting list. BuzzFeed called us the top Airbnb in the state. So we're like, this is working. Let's do more of this. So he's pretty risk averse. We sell our house and most of what we own to buy 35 acres out.
I'm not risk averse. I'm very comfortable with it.
That's right. That's what I meant.
Yeah. I thought, I
High
got
risk
the sarcasm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Undaunted by failure.
Undaunted by
Yeah.
And so we sell our house. I quit my job in news just to go all in. We buy 35 acres on an island outside of Charleston. We're living on the land in a camper while we're building this. I mean, this took our life savings. And phase 1 of development was going to be 4 tree houses, each one of a kind, totally custom. And there were no regulations at the time, but right as we were finishing construction and just getting to start to, open our doors and host guests, and mind you, we already have full calendars because there's a lot of pent-up demand and people already booking in advance, they adopt these anti-Airbnb laws that basically shut down our business.
Whoa.
And so we did not see that coming. We're like, who hates tree houses? This is not going to bother anyone. Well, we were wrong. We were in a community that was anti-development of any kind. And so instead of getting to run and grow our business, we found ourselves in a year-plus political battle to get the property rezoned and just to get to do what we intended to.
Did you have to get it zoned to like a hotel or something? Or
it was going to be a planned development. Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we were not successful. It's like you don't know what you don't know, and there was so much of that world we had no idea about. We didn't have mentors in our corner. We were just
So you
crashing
bought an
into
island
walls.
without knowing if you could even do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Sweet.
what could go wrong?
Yeah.
Tight.
Gosh, horrible. And so, like, I mean, enough time has passed that we can like talk about it now. But God, that was the hardest.
A lot of trauma.
So much trauma.
Oh,
The
yeah.
hardest season
And this
in
is
our
like
life.
pretty early in your marriage.
Yeah, first big swing
Yeah.
in entrepreneurship.
Cool.
He's like,
Well, yeah, an artist buddy of mine told me, he's like, the human heart is not built for fame, and good or bad, and like I guess until someone's just taken shots at you publicly on the internet,
Yeah.
like, and you've been like, oh my gosh, people are seeing this, and this is also not true. And now all these people believe something that's not true at all
Yeah.
about you just because they have a clear purpose for why they want to take you down or whatever.
Right.
And I mean, like, that's I think that breaks a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the people who are like fueled by purpose and know that, like, you know what, that's noise. People are going to say all kinds of things about you. Throw it behind you.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. I know all about that. So what did you do? Like, how'd you get past it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the advice we got was like, they were like, look, great idea, just wrong place. Just go do it somewhere else. And like, we had just spent 3 years of just pouring everything into
How much
this.
money did you put into like developing it, buying the land, all that stuff?
Probably about $1,750,000.
Wow. It's almost $2 million.
Yeah.
So what did you do with it?
Well, turns out it's very challenging to sell a commercial property that doesn't have any commercial value. So it took us 2 years to sell the property. I mean, if we could have just sold it immediately
Well, land
and just
takes a long
transferred
time
our
too,
equity,
anyway.
then that would have been great. But it was a very unique property, and the treehouses could only be rented out a month at a time. So
Got
that's kind of challenging.
So did you lose money, break even, make some money? Like, how did it end up playing out?
We broke even. I mean, ultimately, there's a lot of costs because we had carrying costs for 2 years where, like, we had to literally, even though we knew we were going to rebuild somewhere else, like, we had to totally just shift the business model. And so as all this stuff, like, we had the year from hell in 2019, and then we're like, all right, 2020, this is going to be our year. We're going to rebuild. But actually, the fact that international travel just went away like that meant that there were honeymoon people, which is those are our people, who had international honeymoons planned. They couldn't do that. So we were like, hey, come here. You can be free. We've got all this acreage, miles of trails. I think the promotion was like,
It was come for a month for the cost of a week.
yeah.
And so we pivoted with this campaign that really connected with honeymooners. So people can now, save their honeymoon, stay in a treehouse, and we could basically cover our costs.
Yeah.
And so that's what kept us afloat until we were able to find a buyer. But, it wasn't like, it didn't all happen in perfect sequence. So we had to start over in Tennessee before we sold the property.
Yeah.
We
With no
literally
money.
moved in with my parents in their barn dominium, I remember. And we were just on a mission to find our next place, and we were looking for land, found the perfect spot. And once we did, we started literally camping out on the property in a tent and then in a
So this
in
is
an
the
old
third
camper.
development now
Yeah.
in Tennessee. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this before we talk about this third development. So you guys are basically newlyweds. Doesn't work out so great. Also, too, I mean, you're in a big band right now. Like, how are you managing being in the band, touring, doing all the things you're doing, and then doing this too? And then this isn't going so hot.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do any of it without her. I mean, the boost in my confidence that I got, like, when we met, and like, it was very, like, we wasted no time getting married. I mean, we were married within like 8 months of meeting each other. We just knew, like, this is my person. And I think in the beginning it was easy because she could just come on the road, and that was great. And we'd be able, we were together. Once we started building together, it got to be a little bit more difficult. Like, I'd say it was all sunshine and rainbows until, this development and all this political drama happened. And then it was tough because I was be like, hey, I know the world's crashing, but I got to go on tour.
Enjoy your camper in the woods.
I'll be
You got
back.
this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'll be back in 2 months. Like,
Yeah.
you got this, I'm
Yeah.
just a phone call away.
Yeah, because I mean, when I was playing minor league baseball, that's why I'm asking, because I did the same thing in that, we got married in 2013, and I played all the way through 2017, and so I would always leave for the summer, and I'd be gone 5 months.
Mm.
She would come when she could, but it was, we probably wouldn't be together for 3 months, let's just say. And we didn't have money because I'm over here trying to grind and play minor league baseball and make money. And then I get in this real estate thing and I'm like figuring it out. But I know it wasn't easy. And that was we were in year 1, 2, and 3 of our marriage too. So I know it's not easy, like leaving your wife to go work and do your thing. And there's fires that you just left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was really challenging. I know for us, we always tried to see each other we wouldn't be apart longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Was our goal. And then I think when everything was hitting the fan with the development in Charleston, we just decided it's like, hey, this could tear us apart, pointing fingers, bickering, whatever. Or we can lock arms, be completely unified, and take it on like us against the world.
Yeah.
And that's what we decided to do. And so we're like, hey, same team. And that's just been one of our mantras, and it's helped us to just be on the same side of the table.
And I think that's huge, and I just want to underscore that because it's really credit to Tori, right? There were aggressive growth strategies that I was pushing and decisions that I made, and she could have easily blamed me, for those, or that could have been a big friction point. But like, she never disrespected me in my judgment because she knew, like, okay, I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
And we both make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I think the discipline to hold your tongue when you're really going through heavy stuff, whether you work with your partner or, work is kind of affecting the relationship, like that to me there's such a huge return on keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah.
ROI. If you don't know what to say, don't say anything.
He literally lives by that. And so it used to make me so uncomfortable because we'd have like a kind of a heated conversation. And I would ask him a question and he would just look at me and not say anything for like 5 minutes. I'm like, anyone in there? Oh, he's mad. Okay, I'm going to just give him some space.
I've learned that I just need to say thinking, processing.
I hear you. I'll get back to you. Yeah, it's funny. My wife is the same way. We have our Kingdom Summit coming up next week, and it's actually how we met. Your brother Chandler Bolt. He's been on the podcast, and he teaches people how to self-publish books, and he's going to be speaking at the summit because he's a big believer. And what she's going to talk about at the summit is kind of that concept of serving your spouse, and also what it's like being the spouse of an entrepreneur. Now, you obviously guys, you both run the business together, and so you guys are doing that. Mindy and I are a little different in that she's not really in the business, but she's definitely involved in the ministry. But I've screwed up a lot, like a lot. And for us to start the business, I maxed out both of our credit cards and like went all in. And she's like, all right, like, let's do it. And thankfully the first one worked out, because if it didn't, we would have been toast because we didn't have any money. So it did work out. But then eventually, I start businesses that fail. I lose millions of dollars on bad deals. I deal with lawsuits. I deal with people saying this thing and that thing, people talking crap about our family. And like, she's just a rock. It's like none of it phases her. She's like, all right, whatever. So what are we going to do? Like, what's the next thing? We're not going to blame game. Like, you shouldn't have bought those deals. You shouldn't have started that business. You shouldn't have. It's just, there's never been once like, well, you screwed up. Now we're paying the price. It's like, all right, so we're going to be good. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Just moving on.
Who you marry is so important, and it can affect you for better or for worse. And having a supportive spouse is everything. I think it's one of our superpowers and our advantages.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is it working together? How is it, like, do you have to separate marriage and business? Like, how do you guys do it?
Yeah. Now it's great. And we, of course we haven't mastered it, but like if I rewind to our first couple of years in marriage, it was really frustrating because Seth is so creative, has such big vision, wants, final say on all the design and everything. It was really frustrating because I'm like, yo, why am I doing all the work just for you to change it? And I would get kind of resentful. And then we realized two things that really unlocked it for us. And one is this thing called 10-80-10. And so he'll lay the vision for the first 10% of the project. This is the desired outcome. Here's how I see it. I run and take the 80, and I'm doing like the bulk of the work, knowing that he's going to come back and do that last 10%. And he's
Change it
not
up.
critiquing or changing my work. It's part of the process.
Yep.
So once I had a framework to understand that, it really helped me like hand it back. The other is we have different lanes in the business. So within Bolt Farm, there's PropCo, OpCo, and BrandCo. So PropCo is the development side of the company. We do our own construction in-house. He leads that. BrandCo, we do our own, sales and marketing. That's me. And so I get to make the final call, and we will get each other's input on our different realms. But we know, like, hey, you can take or leave my advice, and I won't hold it against you.
Okay. What was the third one?
OpsCo.
Okay.
Which I didn't speak about because we both are not great operators. It's just not our jam. Like we're builders and creative. So we brought on a wonderful COO that's leading that charge.
And we just recruit.
And that's just managing the bookings and the experience.
Running the
and
hotel,
all those
basically.
things.
Yeah. So our philosophy is build your company around your strengths, build your team around your weaknesses. So we just recruit the best operators, in the country and from around the world to work with us.
Yeah. How many employees do you guys have to run the current business?
Man, close to 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so that's cleaners, the COO, the social media team.
Yep.
Finance, marketing, construction.
Building out a media team now, and building, preparing to scale and go multi-site. So,
So when you mean multi-site, you're going to buy more land and go to do the same thing in different locations.
Exactly. And I just looked in the last year we've gotten 10,860 applications to work for Bolt Farm. So the power of brand, I think, and also the fact that we're just very straightforward about, how mission minded we are and about having human impact, which if you think about it, that is hospitality. That is the heart of hospitality. But it's been squeezed out of so many other luxury brands because they've been acquired by private equity, and they just go in and start deleting things to make it more profitable. But then what you're left with isn't luxury, it's just margin. But the experience has been diminished, and now you've got all these people that wanted to get into luxury hospitality just to deliver the best service in the world, but their hands are tied because they can't do things that they used to could do. Or, I think there's a lot of people out there who are like, man, I could make this hotel or this experience amazing if corporate would just let me fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And that's where we're different, and we're like, here's a blank page,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Tell me your ideas. You've got a seat at the table. Let's build this together.
Yeah.
Our mission is to revolutionize hospitality and human connection. And I believe, my prediction here is just that the way that AI will sort of disrupt and overtake a lot of things that have always been human, now it elevates the importance of the moments that are uniquely human. And I believe hospitality is at the heart of that. So we help humans connect, we help people connect, and then we also, help the all-stars of hospitality have a place where they can express their purpose and live their best life and just wow and surprise and delight people and show people how good it can feel to be human. Yeah.
I actually just finished reading a book called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yes, the best.
Will Videra, he'll be at Bolt Farm soon.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I got it actually at a church, ironically. I thought it was just a Christian book, and I read it, and I'm like, oh, this was just a normal business book. This is great. But, they're like, this is a really important book to read for a church, for obviously a hospitality business. For those who don't know, it's about this entrepreneur who has, all these restaurants, and they ended up being the number one ranked restaurant in the world. And just how they became it through hospitality. And his thing was it's not just about the chef and the food, it's about the experience that the guest feels. And I've realized that over the years too, because I think Vegas is probably the number one hospitality market in the world. And I used to, growing up, I would think, oh, eating food is just eating. I can't believe people pay, $300 to, for one person, or $500 for an experience of food. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, I see. This is a little bit different than, I don't know, name it Applebee's.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. The food is one element, but there's all these other elements of the experience that I see why people pay for these things.
Yeah.
I would add to it, though, that true hospitality and wowing people, it doesn't need to be expensive. It's about making them feel known, feel seen. And that's what Will talks about in the book, the concept of dream weavers.
Yeah.
That role that specifically is designed just to make people feel so wowed, and all these personalizations. So inspired by that, we now have multiple dream weavers on our team. And that's all they do.
So they're going to look at guests, and they're going to be like, we're going to get them some unique thing that they
Yeah.
would have never
Like,
expected.
let's check out Ryan on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
likes, this drink, this Gatorade or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, that's in your room.
Yep.
And like a $6 Gatorade can make you feel like, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
That's my
So
thing.
like
Well,
maybe
you already did that. You just gave me a gift, and you're like, hey, I know you and your wife like date nights. Here's some things I think would be great for your date night.
Yeah.
so in like the old school hospitality paradigm, you had a butler, and that was like the ultimate luxury is to have someone who could get you whatever you wanted when you asked for it.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to elevate that and take that even further. And so with all the data points we have on people and the research we can do on them, how can we provide them with butler service that they don't even ask for?
Yeah. They don't even know they need it.
Exactly.
Anticipating needs.
hmm
Yeah.
And having so we're betting big on that being the future of hospitality and the future of the model. Like it's all about guest service and having these Dreamweaver, fairies that are just like seeing how many times they can surprise and delight you and your wife while you're staying there just by being very thoughtful and catering to every need. So
Yeah.
why? I mean, I hope that when you come and stay with us, you're gonna like 5 times or more just be like,
Yeah, I already
oh
wanna
my
stay."
gosh, I can't believe they did this too. Like this is amazing. And like that's the fun of it. And think about the people out there who love that. Like they're just built to be thoughtful and to think of others, and like love is their superpower. That's exactly what like fuels our business, and that's what people feel like when you feel loved by a business,
Yeah.
which is very rare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That creates incredible loyalty. So like 30% of our guests rebook their next stay before they leave property.
They're like already
Like
planning
they're like,
it out.
oh,
Yeah.
this is it. Like we've finally found our place where we can just go and
You
recharge
want to come
and
here
reconnect
once or a
and-
couple times a year and be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned one thing about brand being so important for being able to do this, right? I mean, people are now fans of the brand. They're booking stays. You're getting all these applications for people. You're going to be able to use the brand to now go to a whole new location, and it's like, oh crap, dude! Bolt Farm just opened up a new spot. We're in, and I want to highlight like people understand brand's important, but brand is both good and bad because you can have a good brand or a bad brand. So it's like if your product sucks, you probably don't want brand. You probably don't want people to know that you suck. So I think the only reason your brand is what it is because you guys are so excellent at what you do and the attention to detail and all the things that we're talking about. But I mean, let's talk about like this third development, right? So the first thing works pretty good. The second one's kind of a flop. The third, you now learned a lot of lessons. And now you're like, okay, this is the property. So you buy how many acres?
Started
So-
with 18.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
was 33 acres for sale. We couldn't afford it all.
How much were the 18? What'd you guys
We
pay?
paid $12.5 an acre. So we bought 18 acres of prime view for less
Yeah.
than $250K.
That's so cheap.
And flash
like,
forward
when you
to-
really think about it.
Yeah.
I know today, the property was just valued at $32 million
That's crazy.
in less than 4
Yeah.
years.
That's crazy.
And we've done it all using other people's money because we didn't have it. I think some people
Yeah.
think like, oh, well, you're a rock star or whatever. I was like, the music industry is not what it used to be. Let me
Yeah.
just tell you.
especially
Yeah.
the Christian music
Yeah.
industry.
And so but the tough part was that like the second development, we put all our personal money in it and then borrowed as much as we could and totally tapped that out. And so starting over, having failed, it was even harder to get a bank to give us the money when
Yeah.
we needed like basically all of it. So like we started out structuring it as like an SBA deal. And like she said, I mean, camping in a tent on the property wasn't just like, hey, this will be cool or this will be a cool
was
thing to do
necessary.
it was like, no, this is we're in a tent, and then we stayed in like this camper from the 90s. So I mean, we were just roughing it, but realizing like, okay, backs against the wall, and we got to do something to turn this around because it's 2020. We've had no income. We're approaching the holiday season, and I just, sitting in that camper, I was like, I think this might be the one time in 2020 that people spend money, and like if we don't make any, our business is going to die. So we didn't own the land yet, but we set a lofty goal to pre-sell $500,000 in reservations for 2021.
Mm.
And so we like literally built a little website. All we had was a cell phone, and like used like basically our last $500 for like some renderings of what we wanted to build, and then just showed up every day, like showing the view and saying, hey, here's where we are. This is what we're going to build. This is why we're going to build it. This is who it's for. And just, I guess the hard part was like dreaming out loud after
Yeah.
failure. But we bet on ourselves, and because we did, we sold $1 million in reservations
That funded the build.
pre-sold. Yeah. And the crazy thing though, and this is really the bet on yourself part, it was before we owned the land
Whoa.
and before we had built anything. But it took that level, I think, of commitment and betting on ourselves for the bankers to see that this was a winning concept. And so the banker called me one day, and he's like, "Hey, there's a lot of money,
Yeah.
like getting put into your account, and like I know you guys don't own the land yet, so like, are y'all selling drugs or something?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Sid, we're doing exactly what I told you we were gonna do." And people, I'm telling you, there's so much pent up demand for travel like this.
Yeah.
We've got a great following, a great fan base. They're going to be here, and he decided to just cut the SBA
When
out
you
of
said
it
the
and
following,
funded the
were you
whole
talking
deal
about the band or the following
Bolt Farm.
From Bolt Farm, because at
Yeah.
that point we'd been building a brand for Bolt Farm for probably 5.5, 6 years.
Got it. From
Yeah.
the first two.
Yeah,
Got it.
and certainly there was like some crossover in the early days. With,
Yeah, like
with
you even though
Needtobreathe.
it didn't like financially work out for you guys, you still like did a good job with the people that did come, and so there was
Yeah.
already brand building.
Yeah, a lot of people who've like listened to Needtobreathe, that
Yeah.
like they've used our songs in like their wedding and stuff. So I think naturally, if we're already a
Trust.
part of the love story,
Yeah.
and this whole business came from our love story, then why not
You guys were
celebrate
like
your anniversary, that kind of
pre-selling like the Fire Festival, but you guys delivered.
That literally
Yes.
haunted me throughout the entire first phase of construction.
It actually
I was
worked out.
like, Seth, we cannot be Fire Festival. We've got to get this done.
And the thing is, like, we made so many mistakes with that.
'Cause that was like right around the same time.
It's too fresh.
And so we had 6 months to build 10 units, and we pulled it off,
Wow.
but by the skin of our teeth. And it was super stressful. And this was another one of those situations where I left for tour, and I was like, "Hey, like,
keep them going.
He
You
knew,
got
I'm like, he's
this.
trying to break me. No, but honestly, if I could go back, like the pre-sale did save our business, but I wouldn't tie it to dates on a calendar because that just took the fun out of the build.
Yeah.
And it made us very self-conscious to document publicly because we're like, oh, these people have a reservation in 3 weeks, and like, look how terrible everything looks. So I would just do like reservation certificates or just get intent and build
Yeah,
that
like
up.
gift
And-
certificates
exactly,
and stuff. Yeah.
until you're ready.
That's smart.
Yeah.
And I think that a part of that message too is like a lot of people never start a business or buy real estate or do things because they're like, I don't have the money. And you guys looked at it and said, we don't have the money, but we'll get creative. We'll figure out a way to do it. We'll pre-sell. We'll do this. We'll do that. And I've had like many things in my business where actually the 4-hour work week did a good job of talking about this concept of just seeing if there's demand. You know, he talked about testing things that you didn't currently have. And the worst case is you refund it back and like,
Yep.
it's all good. But if you see there's all this demand, well, great. Let's go now make it.
yeah,
I mean, GoFundMe's that way, or not GoFundMe, but like Kickstarter or whatever those different things are. It's like, we don't have a thing. We have an idea.
right,
Buy into it.
yeah." Well, Jim Collins says, "Fire bullets and cannonballs." So that's become a mantra for us because we're doing this at scale now, but it started with just one. I was like, okay, would people visit a treehouse on a farm in South Carolina when there's, that would totally be a destination. Like there's no tourism draw to that area other than it's just really beautiful. And it took me 2 years to convince my parents that it was a good idea because they were like, I mean, imagine your kids are coming to you, and this is like pre-Airbnb, saying like, we need to build a tree house and rent it out to people, and they'll come from all over the world to stay in it. And
They're like,
"You're-"
why would people do that?
yeah, exactly. They were like, no one comes
And
here.
they'll shower outside. It will be great.
Trust me, they're going to love it.
If we build it, they will
You're like,
come.
who's done that? That's funny. So this third one, obviously you guys start building it during COVID and it gets booked out, and then, it starts to become this big success. And I mean, how does it lead to now being valued at 32 million? And you guys are going to do 8 figures of, bookings this year. And like, how does that all play out?
Yeah, I mean, I think a ton of credit to our team. Like we're the face of it. Like there are so many talented, hardworking people who create the experience and create the magic. And I mean, it certainly helps when the experience does way more for you than just give you a place to rest your body. You know what I mean? We're just big believers that like we want to be hitting all 5 senses. We want to be a place where you can really rejuvenate and recharge like mind, body, heart, soul. So I think in that ways, it's totally just set aside, and it's totally different than any other like just little like one-off Airbnb thing or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think for all that reason, like people are willing to pay more for it. Like
Yeah.
we just focus on value,
Yeah.
and creating as much as we can, and then in turn the price is high, and it's
Do you guys like have a restaurant on there or anything? Like, how do people eat?
Yeah, we don't have a restaurant because I think that a restaurant is typically the L on a P&L. And it's just like a game we don't want to get into. But we found a way to meet the guest needs so that they can just show up. The food is already in their villa. We have these pre-made, chef-made meals that they can just pop into their pizza oven.
Oh,
Because every
cool.
treehouse has a pizza oven. One of the things that we offer are these like DIY pizza experiences where you're like kneading the dough and having fun together, creating a pizza. I mean, it's so simple.
Yeah.
But it helps you kind of slow down and be in the moment. And so we have some meals like that where they can just have their needs met. We also work with a private chef. And so people celebrating an anniversary or special milestone can do that. And it's like a 4-course meal in your
Sweet.
treehouse. I mean, magical.
So walk me through, I'm going to book and like what happens? So you guys, obviously I book my dates and whatever else, like what am I going there to do? Like what's my experience going to look like?
So let's start there. Like I think the anxiety that everyone naturally has when you're going to go somewhere is like, what do I do?
What's the itinerary?
What are the best things to do? Am I making the right decisions? That kind of thing. So we look at it more like curated, like one-click experiences where you can literally book your whole vacation in 30 seconds because we have designed the whole thing. Like we're vetting it all. We're making sure everything is top notch as it can be. And so if you just want full send, show up, you don't have to worry about food. You got spot
That's what
treatments,
I would love.
everything.
Not have to worry
Yeah.
about
Take
nothing.
care of
Right.
all of it.
Right. Because like, for you and for many people, like your most valuable asset is your time.
Yeah.
So you don't want to spend a bunch of time trying to like make all these travel decisions, but you know what you like. So like our job is to articulate, to show you the world that we have. And then also just provide you with some very easy options where you just be like, oh, that looks awesome. Like, is this a reconnection trip for romance? Really invest in your relationship, or are you looking to like really get away and have it be more wellness focused, that kind of thing? I mean, we have solo people come too. Sometimes we have like executive teams.
Yeah.
We're hosting folks from John Maxwell's groups there. So make it really easy to have a top of the world experience. And
How far is the airport from there?
About 45 minutes.
That's not too
Chattanooga?
bad.
Yeah.
Especially for like a remote kind of place.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
people fly in private too. Like that's an
Yeah.
option. So
Got
What
it.
I think is interesting is people are programmed to think, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Because they're used to busying themselves. But the
Yeah.
real magic happens when you slow down and do nothing. But if we told people that would scare them. So we're like, just come to the mountain. We have a spa day. We have hiking trails, all the things. But inside the treehouse, we've designed all these little moments to help you slow down. So for coffee, you're not going to find a Keurig in there. There's intentionally fresh press coffee, a French press coffee with a hand antique grinder. So you're grinding your beans, you're slowing down. There's a therapeutic coloring book. There's the conversation cards. You wake up to the view. A lot of times the valley's filled with a bed of clouds and you just like stare in awe and wonder. We have a guest book on the nightstand and it reads more like a journal. People are writing like love letters and like stories of transformation and breakthrough. And we encourage our guests in the messaging ahead of their arrival to like slow down and read that and also write in it. And so people like, they show up thinking, what am I going to do? But the power of the environment, it helps them just stop, slow down. And they find that that's where the real magic of reconnection is.
How much? We were talking about this a little bit, but like, how many marriages have you seen like restored from experiences like this?
Yeah. I mean, I would say at this point, thousands. And we love getting to talk to our guests. We do a happy hour 3 times a week, and sometimes we'll come and get to connect with them and hear their stories. And we've heard so many stories and testimonies of.
Do you guys live out there now, or you're outside of it? Or
Yeah,
do you
we live really close by.
Okay, cool.
And actually, up until about 2 months ago, we lived on the property, hiding in plain sight. No one knew. We were like, because we were living in a camper. No one would expect
Okay,
like
got
the
it.
owners of this
Yeah.
multi-million
Yeah, you don't
resort.
get to live in that because that's lost revenue.
I know. I'm like, hey, when are
I
we
really
building-
wanted to stay in a treehouse for the rents.
Yeah,
monthly rent.
that's going to cost me a lot of money
like
if I
30
stay in
grand
there.
a month.
Yeah.
I know. I finally talked him into getting a house. And it's like a humble home nearby, but he was like really sad. He's like, I love my little camper in the woods.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about focus, right? Like even Elon Musk lives in that little like,
Yeah,
$50,000
boxable
box.
Yeah.
It's just, no considerations, no like home repairs to make. Like I just want to spend every day focused on building my dreams and having quality time with my family.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, for you also, like, you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, you have a family, you've got another kid on the way. Like, recently I've been thinking about how ultimately it's like how you structure your days, you know what I mean? To make sure that you are present for family when they need you, present for your team when they need you. But then also, like, we're not where you're at yet in terms of like carving out all the time to show up for podcasting and other stuff. So like how do you do it? Like, how do you structure your family time?
Yeah.
Is it
I
a
have, like,
seasonal thing, like where it changes based on the season, or?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys that too, is how's your resort seasonally? We can get into that. But yeah, I mean, I would say my life is actually very consistent week to week. I don't have like, you know, like what it used to be when I played baseball where it's like, oh yeah, the season is this and, you know, this is the off season. It's like my season is just the same all the time. And I just try to like live my life very consistently in that, hey, I'm going to come to the office at 9, I'm going to be off by 5. And I'm only coming Monday to Friday, that's it. And that's what we do. Like, no one here at the office works weekends. It's not even open. Everyone here's gone by 5 because I want them to have the same routine and time with family because that's what I value. And it's like the business owner's values need to come out to the employees and to, you know, the customers too. And you guys are already doing that, like as a byproduct with how you treat your customers. And, you know, my wife and I decided, man, years ago when I started getting asked to speak at all these events and go to all these conferences, you know, at first it was like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, cool. This is awesome. And then eventually you're like, yeah, this isn't awesome. You know, like,
Yeah.
It's not cool leaving your family all the time. I don't even like doing it. And there's not even really this like big ROI to do it. Like, I can make more money just being here, doing my thing. I can see my family every night and I don't even like doing the other thing.
Yeah.
So I just pretty much stopped.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So
yeah.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Do you do like victory lap work after hours at home or anything like that or no?
Not really.
Wow.
My thing is just if I can't get it done from 9 to 5, I was the problem. Like, I either was very inefficient or I just didn't hire enough people. It's like there should be nothing where I'm really the bottleneck and it's so dependent on me. It's like, oh crap, I got to finish the website or else we can't get these. Like, no, that's someone else's job. Dude, you know, we filmed the podcast, but the edits didn't get, it's like, that's not my job. I filmed the podcast. Somebody else needs to make sure it goes out on time and gets done. You know, it's like the same thing. I'm sure you guys were like cleaning the properties at first. And then eventually it's like, if it doesn't get cleaned, that's somebody else's job. I shouldn't be missing dinner because one of the properties didn't get cleaned. That's like just being a bad business owner. And that's kind of how I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Mm-hmm. That's really strong. Yeah, I think we're still figuring it out. I mean, we're new parents. Our daughter's almost 2.
Yeah.
We hope to have more kids. That's why we're taking notes from you because, you know, we're still in this unique point of the business where I feel like it's like that hockey stick growth curve where it's like it's demanding a lot from us. And we have a big team and we delegate a lot and work with great people, but like it's hard for us to turn it off, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
We'll find
right
ourselves.
Now, she sleeps from like 7:30 or she's awake from 7:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night. And I'm more of a, like, I like to work from like 5 to 9. So I'm like, how
is this going to work, you know? But
I think and I also think it's a little, so I would say I'm still trying to grow too. And like, you know, hockey stick and get the amazing growth, but do it in like a constraint, right? Mm-hmm. And dang, I always forget what this principle is called. Parkinson's law.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? So it's like, hey, you know, if I give myself, say, 5 to 9, I will take 5 to 9. But if I give myself 9 to 5, I'll figure out how to make it work. Like, because we're just entrepreneurs. We'll figure out. We're creative. And that's the whole point of creativity, right? Craig Groeschel actually has a quote I always reference. And he says that limitation creates innovation. And so innovation doesn't come from, oh, I have all the time and all the money and all the resources. It comes from, we have no money and we want to buy this land. What are we going to do? Oh, we'll pre-sell. We'll do this. We'll raise money. And it's like, what an innovation. That's why it worked. But if you had the money, you wouldn't have did that. You would have just been like, oh, we've got the money. Like, let's just buy the land. We don't need to pre-sell. Like, let's just get to build. And you would do what everyone else does. And so I think by forcing limitation on ourselves, I have 3 kids. I have a 4th on the way. I also want to grow my business to be massive. I also want a big podcast. I also want to have huge events. I also have my nonprofit event next week. I also have this. And it's like, people would normally tell you it's not possible. And you want to do it from 9 to 5? I was like, yeah, there's a way. It's not going to be the normal way that people think it would be, but there is a way. It can be done. But it's by forcing limitation that you create new ways of doing things.
Yeah, very well said.
So I think you guys can do it. But you don't have to do what I do, right? It's just whatever works for your family.
Right.
I would say like my wife, she's not in the business, but you may find as you have more kids, you're like, I actually don't want to be working anymore. Like, I'm very happy doing this. And then you'd be like, hey, Seth, where you at? It's just life changes. Yeah. When we didn't have kids for 5 years. So, we kind of laugh now, but the first 5 years of our marriage, we were broke when we got married and then started to build some money before we had kids. And, it was part of the plan. It wasn't like we had to reach a certain amount of money. It was just like, we want to spend the first 5 years, like just being married,
Same.
Yep.
And we did that and it was awesome. And then we started having kids and now we look at it with a 4th on the way and we're like, what did we even do with all of our time? We had so much time. Like, what were we
Unreal.
doing? Like, how did I even think that I was busy? Like, what a foolish thought. Because now I look at my life, I'm like, oh yeah. Like, I actually have a lot of things going on. Back then I thought I was so busy and I wasn't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now when friends are like, oh, have you seen this new show on Netflix? I'm like, no. Like,
Absolutely not.
when we go to like talking about what's on TV, I'm like, I'll be over here.
Yeah. Yep.
No time for that.
So walk me through this, because this is all part of kind of the same principle, though, that we're talking about, right? You said you recently retired from Needtobreathe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what went into that decision? Is it just the business is taking off so much? Is it being a new parent? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah. I've been looking forward to being a father for a long time. And I'm 41 now. And in 2024, Needtobreathe toured America. We toured Europe. We toured Canada. We played summer festivals, and I just was not home. And when I returned home, I saw that my daughter was calling the iPhone Dada, because that's what she mainly knew of me. Like, that's the best I could do for how to show up, and that just wrecked me. I was like, I don't want to miss these moments. I've been big on life design and being very intentional about that my whole life. And so I wanted to just be home with family. And a mentor of mine shared this with me, and this is something that I apply, because, I have the flexibility to work from home. And when I do, and she comes up and she's like, Dada, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like, I immediately set the phone down, or I immediately close the laptop and show her, like, this is not important. You are.
Yeah.
Like, when you want my attention, you've got it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a tough decision and a hard thing to do. I mean, because for a lot of people, like, just being in a successful band would be a dream come true, and just like ride that out and, to
Forever.
the grave. But I just saw that it wasn't feasible. Like, we're in a season now where, like, okay, we really want to grow our family. We want to have more kids. And you just can't plan. I've got to be home.
It's hard to do that when you're not in the same city. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're trying to build this business that's, going to be massive, and it already is, and it's going to keep getting bigger. And clearly you can already see that that's your future, at least business-wise, and now family. And
at a place also where I'm extremely proud of everything the band's already accomplished.
Like it's like, what else more is there?
Billions of streams, and
done?
Touring with Taylor Swift and Tim McGraw and One Republic, and headlining tours and releasing 10 albums. And, like, I just love that, like, that music will live on. The band will continue on, like, and be better than ever. Cause, like, honestly, there was no sort of, like,
Band drama.
tension or any kind of drama. It's typically what it is. But, like, I think this version of the band is better than ever. The songwriting is better than ever. It's cool to now get to be a fan of the band, you know what I mean? And, like, not have any, like, interest in it. But I am getting to do, like, one, like, victory lap with the band. at the end of this year. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's
Maybe
going
you
to
should
be an
be like
acoustic tour.
the consultant of the band.
Yeah, the business side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, hey, I'm just like this pretty big business guy now, guys. Like, I'll tell you what we can do. That would be funny. So, yeah, I mean, like, now you have this development. Obviously, it's crushing. And my question is, okay, why not maybe just build more on that development versus, I mean, and you are, versus like, okay, now we're going to go start a whole new one and a whole new, like, because that's, now it's going to bring up some new questions. Do you guys move to that city? Because you probably would to have to go start it off. And then how does the transition look? You know, because now it's like there's going to be two different mega things happening.
Yeah. Well, for us, like we're very much like we value the character building piece of it. Like I would say backing up all the way for me, like growing up on a farm, we like grew our own food, and like I built so much character just in like doing hard things on a regular basis. And that's given me so much confidence in my life to like take big swings. And for us too, like even though we've experienced trauma, to use your word, you know, through being developers and getting like clobbered the way that developers do. Even though we build houses for people and, you know, we do all these amazing things, you just get beat up when you're a real estate developer.
Yeah.
Like we recognize that like we would have missed out on so many lessons and so many growth moments and built and just not be the people that we are. So like it's not, I don't have like this thing where like we've got to build 7 of the most iconic resorts around the world, or you know we've just got to hit that $1 billion valuation. Instead, it's I want to get really, really good at this, and I want to be the best in the world at this. And I think that just means naturally you're going to grow. And so I'm a builder, and I love seeing how good I can build something and how fast we can do it.
How often do you guys stay at like other resorts to get inspiration and see what they're doing?
A decent amount.
Yeah.
I mean, we honestly don't. We're homebodies, so we don't get out at that much. But it is a nice excuse to tie it into a vacation and a getaway, but also, you know, R&D and getting inspiration. So it's my favorite season of that was when we were creating the spa. And I was like, all right, I'll book another spa day for us. And
I'm pretty sure we're gonna do like the best of the best like couples experience while we're here in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas would be
See what
great
we can pull from that.
Yeah,
because our spa is a couple spa, so that's pretty much like every time we travel, we're trying to at least do that, just and see like how can, because I think spas like very much you go in your separate locker rooms and then you don't really see each other. It's not really a couples experience, but like in Tulum, there's some great ones, and we want to have the best couples like spa experience in the country at our place at Bolt Farm.
Got it. Yeah, I think about because I've stayed at like nice places, and when you're describing like different, you know, same brand, different cities, you know, you start to expect consistency and, you know, a certain experience and product. And I was thinking, I don't even know what's popped up, but like the Amman and just the level of like, oh, I know what I'm gonna get. It don't matter where it's at, you know, architecture, experience, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the goal really, is to build a brand. But I guess, I don't know, the Amman of the treehouse experience.
Yeah.
I think that's great. So what is like the seasonal outlook with what you guys are doing? Like, is there certain times where people, it's heavy and not, you know, based on the weather, you know, are you guys just always booked out and somebody needs to book like 6 months in advance, or like, can people get lucky and book it like right now, next weekend? Like what's the deal?
Yeah, we do 93% occupancy. That's year round.
Okay.
During the week, everything. Like truly every time of year is beautiful. Winter is cozy, perfect time for hot tubs, fire pit, gorgeous views because now, you know, there's no leaves on the trees. But fall is insane with the colors. I mean, October books out fastest.
October's like the peak season.
Yeah, October, November. But people are here year round. As we've continued to grow and scale, we do have more inventory. So we went from having a 6-month waiting list to now you could probably find a room a month in advance.
Got it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Yeah, I definitely want to stay there. It's funny because Mindy and I are always thinking about like where we want to go, and we always are just drawn to like the beach and to Mexico, just
Yeah.
because it's like so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same.
it's like, we'll just go to Mexico. It's great. But there's not like a lot of places we look for that are like nature. And I think one of our problems is, and maybe this is like a problem in general that you guys can help solve for people. It's like for us, we started in Big Bear with Airbnbs because it's close to here. You know, it's like a 3-hour drive from Las Vegas. You can't fly, but you know, it's close and it was a good real estate investment. But you know, I loved going up there because it's just beautiful. It's a different environment than Vegas, and you know, they got little shops and cool stuff there. But I actually got inspiration staying at this place called Sensei in Palm Springs. And it was this guy, what's his name? The Oracle guy. I forget his name. It'll come to me. But anyways, this guy literally bought his own golf course
Wow.
in Palm Springs. And then he decided to put, you know, like a little mini.
Larry.
Yeah, I think it might have been. I can't remember. I'll have to add it here later. But anyways, it's called Sensei. He had his own private golf course. It was his own house. And it was like, this dude just in the middle of Palm Springs. Like, I mean, multi-billionaire. Then he decided to turn it into like a wellness center. And so then the house turned into a hotel because the house was already like massive and all these different guest houses and things. So it's like they didn't even have to build anything. It was just already there. And, you know, he built the spa, the wellness center, and then they put a Nobu inside of it. I'm like, how does this have, like, it's its own private Nobu? This is kind of crazy. And it was awesome. We loved staying there. And what I liked about it was we didn't have to think about it. It was just like, just show up. When you want to golf, just go do it. When you want to, like, just go do it. You know, the food's there. It's all ready for there. And that's what I really enjoyed, just being able to show up to a spot, not think, and just get a different environment and relax.
Yeah.
100%. It keeps you out of logic land.
Right.
Yeah.
And we feel like it's 100 little things that add up to keep you out of logic land and in this kind of place where time stands still. And that's what we're always after with each guest. It's like, how can we remove the friction, quiet the noise, and keep them in this headspace?
Yeah. Think about this. When you make memories, it's often, almost entirely, when you've lost track of time because you're in a state of flow. And so that's what we think travel should be. Like, you should be in a state of flow the whole time that you're there.
Yeah.
And like the logic stuff can take you out of that, which is why we want you to just like not think about where are we going for dinner? Do I need to book an Uber to do that? Whatever. No, it's just arrive.
Yeah.
And be.
And then you guys also started coaching people how to do it too.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole new endeavor.
Yeah. So, I mean, after being in this industry for 10 years and experiencing so many painful lessons, some that almost took us out of the game,
Yeah.
you know, because we were doing it on our own without mentors, without someone that we could ask who's already been there. We're like, man, we want to be that for others. And so now we host workshops at Bolt Farm, so they come to us.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's great because we don't have to go anywhere. But what's really nice,
And they
for
get to
them,
see it
they
firsthand.
see it all.
Yeah.
You're like, this is how we do this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is how we do
It's
that.
not some hotel ballroom. Like, you're seeing behind the curtain. Like, we take a tour of like our operations building and our job site and, you know, one of each villa type. And then we just teach everything we know from team building, operations, sales, marketing, construction, raising capital. And we keep it really intimate. So it's like 15 businesses basically, so that we can go deep, answer their questions, and really set them up for success.
How many of them are already doing it and they're in the hospitality space and just trying to like grow versus like a brand new person?
Yeah, it's a mix. It truly is. Maybe 60-40, 60% already have something, whether it's one Airbnb, 3 or more. We have someone with 30, you know, and we have people with new developments, because I think when you're just starting out with construction and new development, that's where you can lose the most money and make the most like painful, costly mistakes. So you really need that
because it
roadmap.
takes a lot of time to start making money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the pre-selling, a lot of people probably don't do.
Yeah. And it's not just about short-term rentals. Like, obviously that's the core of our business, but I think regardless of what kind of real estate you're in, or even beyond that, like hospitality is restaurants. Hospitality is anytime that you're really trying to do, like, where the experience matters. And if the experience is going to really help you scale your business because your experience is the best, then you know what better thing to invest in.
Yeah. No, that's a cool way of doing it. You know what? Just come on down, just see it firsthand. We'll do this. How often do you guys do those?
Once a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
quarterly.
like people,
August, December.
people
Yep.
just
Yeah.
gotta wait and get your spot.
Yeah.
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 So if anyone wants to do that or, just stay there, like where do they go to find those?
Yeah. Our website, boltfarmtreehouse.com. That's where they can see about the workshops. They can
Oh,
see the
wow. It's
stay.
just all in one spot.
Everything right there. We're trying to make it
I would have
easy.
thought that would have been like a different thing, but you're like,
No.
hey, you know what?
Keep it simple. Bolt Farm Treehouse is already complicated enough. We're actually rebranding the name to just Bolt Farm because everyone botches it. But on our
I
website,
do like that name better, just
Yeah.
Bolt Farm.
Bolt Farm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's tight.
Yep.
So our website, social media, we're everywhere, but probably the most active on Instagram.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, go check it out. If you're an Airbnb investor and you really want to figure out how to like scale and get past, all the stuff that's going on with Airbnb, it's a great resource. And for those of you who want to stay and a place to go and just get reconnected with your spouse or solo, go check it out. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.